What is up, guys? This is Jared Spalding here, and today I'm going to be giving you what I consider a very important topic in silver investing, and that is, what should you go for, quantity or quality? Now, this depends on one simple thing: what type of investor you are. So, rather than immediately just say, oh, you should go for this or that, I'm just going to list the pros and cons of each side and let you guys kind of see what you think, and then I'll tell you guys what kind of investor I am. But let me start with bullion here. Now I'm going to be going over two things: bullion and constitutional. So to start out with bullion here, bullion being either generic, which is the quantity, or limited series, anything like that, proofs, the kind of stuff where you're paying, $60 for a 1 ounce round or bar, because it's really limited run, and that is of course, quality. Now, some advantages and disadvantages for generic. Some advantages are, for one, you get more silver for the amount of money you're paying. Also, this form of silver holds a lot of value in a silver shortage situation, because a lot of people are going to be looking for generic bullion that they can get for around spot. Especially big companies will be willing to pay a lot for it. Well, at least whatever silver's worth, which will be a lot more than what it was before. So it will be easier to sell during a silver shortage. Also, it's very easily stored, very stackable, especially the bars. And overall, it's not like something that you're usually going to hold too much sentimental value on. So you're going to be more willing to sell it. Like I was saying before, you can get a lot more of it for the amount of money. Now, there are also some cons, however. Like, for one, it relies directly on the price of silver. So in a silver crash type of situation, you would be losing a lot of money on it. It relies on something that basically is a risk, because silver entirely is just a risk that you're taking by buying it. You don't know what the silver value is going to be tomorrow, or even next time it updates in the next minute. You don't know what it's going to be. It could be a lot less or a lot more than what it is now. And you wouldn't know, because unless you have the kind of money it takes to influence the market yourself, which chances are, if you do, you're probably not wondering about this kind of stuff, so you're probably not watching the video. So I'm going to assume there's more beginners than anything else watching, and so you're not going to have the kind of money it takes to influence the market, and therefore you can't predict the price of what silver is going to be in the the near future. In the next, like I was saying, the next even minute, it could go up for a lot. Oh my God, if I could speak here, up a lot for all you know. Now, this is not the only con, of course. It's kind of the biggest one, but another one is that it has less potential than the quality pieces, because it's never going to be worth anything over a silver melt value. This kind of goes hand in hand with the last thing, how it relies on the price of silver, but also it can only be as valuable as silver is. It can never hold any. You may pay a little bit of a premium on it, sure, but it's never going to be worth a significant amount over the melt value of silver at the time. Now, to move on to proof pieces here, all that kind of thing. Some advantages to it. For one, unlike the generic stuff, it holds a lot of value over whatever the silver melt value is of it. So you can get a lot more of it. When you sell it, you get a lot more out of these pieces. If you had the same amount of these in weight as the other kind of generic, not the other kind, generic bullion, if you had as much weight of it, you'd get a lot more out of it. Therefore, it doesn't directly rely on silver being valuable, because there's even copper rounds that hold a decent amount of value to them just for being rare. So in a silver crash kind of situation, they'd still have value, of course. And also, you'd probably have trouble selling any kind of silver in a crash. Well, that's not true. You would just be getting a lot less out of it, but these pieces you'd probably have trouble selling, because everyone would be buying up the generic bullion, which could be considered more of a con. But it does work both ways, I guess, in its favor and against it. But for the time being, it's a good thing. because it's worth a lot more. Also, these pieces are guaranteed to go up in value due to the fact that over time they become rare, as some might be lost in the mail, some get damaged accidentally. You know, people sometimes make careless mistakes, and these are pushed up in value. Also, rich people might, you might get lucky, and somebody who happens to be very wealthy might need a piece of yours to complete his own set if you're looking to sell, and you might be able to sell it for twice what it's worth because, if you have something that's hard to find, you can sell it for a lot, sure. And this person might need this piece to complete their set, not be able to find it, and then you could sell it to them for a lot of money. You get a lot more out of it than what you paid. Now, some cons. For one, in a huge silver price increase, usually no one's going to be wanting to buy your pieces because they're going to be only looking for, a lot of just scrap silver. They just want a bunch of silver at once. They don't want to be paying for a bunch for something that they're just going to melt down anyway. Also, you're getting a lot less silver out of it. And you're going back to the silver price increase here. If the price does increase, not only are you not going to be able to sell it, but even if you do, you're going to make less money off of it. Even if you sold it for whatever it was worth plus the premium, you're going to be making a lot less money than you would if you put that same $60 into 4 ounces of silver as opposed to 1. You'll be doubling on 4 ounces. You'll be going up, by 1.25 times of what the money you'll be making is only 1.25 times higher. Or actually, no, it'd be 1.2 times higher because there's 5 silver prices put into it, including the price doubling up, because I'm assuming it's going to be, I'm assuming you're paying for an ounce. It's about 4 times more expensive than melt. So if it doubled, then it's be worth 5 times what melt originally was, and therefore, or 2.5 times what melt would currently be. But so you're not going to be making as much money off of it, is my point. Then if you had bought more silver with that same $60 in the first place. And other than that, there's not really too many cons to it. That's probably the biggest one, or the biggest couple of cons. Now, for this, personally, I don't have any quality pieces in bullion. I have all quantity. Out of the 21 ounces of bullion I have, which includes 2 rounds, 4 1-ounce bars, and 3 5-ounce bars. Yeah, I wish it was 5 5-ounce bars. 3 5-ounce bars, and then the 4 1-ouncers plus 2 rounds equals 21 ounces. None of it's anything special, so I personally am a quantity investor when it comes to bullion, just because I'm looking for silver price to go up, not the price of the premiums to go up on these pieces. And I just want more silver just in case a economic collapse or such a related event happens. Now, let's get into our other silver we're going to talk about today, constitutional. Now you see, constitutional silver, what am I going to say here? The value of, constitutional silver when it's junk is, only based off silver, therefore making it the quantity, and the quality would be numismatic pieces, coins that have higher than melt value, considerably higher than melt value prices on them. So let's jump right in here. Now, your standard run-of-the-mill junk is going to be a bunch, maybe dateless coins, coals, damaged hold coins, and that's what I mean by junk. But they're all going to be, silver U.S. coins. Now, a disadvantage right off the bat I'll go with is when these hold coins, you're actually getting less silver, believe it or not. But when there's a piece of the coin missing, you are going to be getting less. So if you're going to be paying the same as you would for the coin melt intact, if it has a hole in it, you're getting a little bit less silver, so that's a problem right there. But you might be missing on a mercury dime, you might be missing a little bit of a decent amount of its value if it's like a hold coin. Now, of course, you could sometimes get them for under melt because of that, but anyway, that's a little bit of a scam sometimes pulled, is these coins with holes in them. People might actually put the holes in themselves and then keep a little bit of silver. Just, it's not too much of a scam, but they can be getting a little bit out of it if all the coins, if you buy, 100 ounces of this junk, and then you're paying melt value on everything, and every coin has a hole in it, you may be losing close to an ounce of silver, depending on the size of these holes, or you may even more. So definitely something to watch out for there. But anyway, these silver coins you're going to be getting are not going to be anything special. Okay, so it's just run-of-the-mill dates or whatever it is. But let's just get some advantages for this quantity now. I don't want to give away too many disadvantages immediately, but one advantage to having a lot of quantity is that just like the generic bullion, it's going to be easier to sell in a silver shortage situation, and also you can get, actually sometimes you can pay a little bit under melt for this. Like I've paid under melt, I've talked about this many times before on my channel, but I'll just say I've paid under melt twice for out of both the times I've paid for a lot of just junk, I paid under melt. So you can sometimes get a really good deal on this stuff. And also, if another advantage here is that if you ever wanted to make your own bars, these are really good because you'd actually paying less than what you would for a silver shot even. So definitely, you're paying a little bit less than you melt them down to your own bars, which is, I know it's probably illegal for most US coinage to completely destroy and take it out of circulation. I don't know about silver coinage because it might be decommissioned. I don't know all the rules and regulations. I'm definitely not planning on melting any of it down. But I'm talking about in like a survival situation where the government's collapsed and there are no laws anymore. You'd have a lot of it to melt down and to make your own bars. And of course, they're also good fractional investments, much better than buying fractional bullion, because in a situation where you have to pay for everything in silver, you go to your new whatever be established as, let's say, a grocery store. If you bring in a 1 ounce bar or anything like that, a large piece of silver, they're not going to be giving you change back. They're going to be saying, oh, just take more groceries. Take that value in groceries. We want the more silver. But if you have these smaller, like mercury dimes, you can get less groceries or whatever it is. You can get less of it and have the fractional pieces. It kind of works just like what normal change does to dollars right now, and you want to have some change in this new environment. Also, this having one of the great things about junk silver is that it's not usually going to be faked, because especially if you're buying all like dimes, let's say, it's gonna cost more than $1. I'm gonna tell you this right now to make a fake dime, okay? And you might be thinking, well, how does the mint produce them if it's gonna be costing so much to make these coins? And really, honestly, they already have all the design set up and everything, and they have these huge factories. And dimes are not exactly super cheap to produce, so. And when I say not more than 10 cents, but more than $1 to produce, is because that's about the melt value of a dime. It's actually a little bit under $1 right now. So no, it's not really worth faking. Even just to say that there's silver in them when there's not, and even things like silver dollars are not usually faked, unlike numismatic pieces. So those are some advantages to it. You're getting more silver than you would for numismatic, and of course, you are not going to usually be dealing with fake coins, everything like that. It's easier to sell, but there are some disadvantages besides the one I went over before. For instance, it is easy to get ripped off on this. I made a whole video talking about where there's like a lot you see on eBay where it's like $20 for one standard ounce of whatever kind of coins they are. Or just junk silver in general. It's a big ripoff because silver is at a little bit below 14 an ounce just for a troy ounce. Now, a standard ounce is more like 13 an ounce, so I don't see why you'd be paying almost twice the melt value of something. When, you're not always going to be scammed, not everything is, but you can easily get scammed on this kind of stuff, so definitely something that's just where you have to be careful on more than anything else. And another con to your junk is that just like your generic bullion, it only has the potential of the melt value of whatever silver's melt value is at the time. So unless, like, let's say the government melted down all the silver coins, which probably could happen in a shortage, which in that case, the coins might be worth a little bit over melt, but then if it's silver shortage, no one's going to be willing to pay you anything over melt for silver anyway, and silver is going to be the new money, so there's going to be no point to having something. So basically, that's the only situation where that could happen, but it wouldn't make any sense because silver shortage would cause the coins to only be worth silver melt anyway. So finally, let's get to Newsmatic. Now, we're already at 15 minutes in, so I don't want to use up too much more of your time, so I'll go over Newsmatically valuable coins quickly. Some pros to these is, for one, these have the most potential out of anything you're going to see. This, of course, is because not only do they go up in value over time as they're not being produced anymore, but also Newsmatic pieces can sometimes be found for great deals at auctions. Like, I've paid really low values for coins that ended up being worth, 8, maybe even close to 10 times what I paid for them, just because you couldn't really tell the condition from the photo, and it turned out to be in really nice condition. And not only that, but also people sometimes aren't willing to take a risk, so you can often get a lot of money out of these coins that you're getting, even instantly, making several times what you pay for them. And also, they are going to be going up in value over time. They're more guaranteed, and if silver price crashes, they still have value because they still have the Newsmatic value of being a rare coin. Like, for example, the most valuable coin right now, at least in the US, is the 1913 V-nickel, which is currently worth upwards of $2 million. Some of these, a couple of them. So definitely something to consider there. It's not even silver, and so even if silver price crashed and silver was worth nothing, these coins are still going to be valuable. And they're always easy to sell. There's always a market for them, unless, of course, and we'll get to the cons here, the silver price. There's a silver shortage, which one of the cons is that in a situation like that, again, just like the proofs and everything like that, I'm just calling them proofs, unlimited runs. I don't know, whatever you want to call them, though. And then the same thing for these Newsmatic pieces. If you have a situation where silver is going up in value rapidly, people are going to be buying silver for silver, not silver for, or not going to be buying like coins where you have to pay 10 times the silver amount value. They're just going to be buying silver coins just for the silver in them. So you're going to be getting a lot less out of them and losing a lot of money on them. And other than that, there's not really too many bad things. Of course, other than the fact you can often get ripped off on these, because these are faked all the time, really valuable pieces. So definitely watch out for scams, and just buy from reputable sources and you'll be good. And yeah, that's, a little bit of a longer video. I do hope you guys enjoyed, though. That's it for now. Peace, love, and much respect.